Hello guys, this is Akshay. In today's video, I am going to explain you about the automated build and deployments CI/CD process in Dynamics 365 using DevOps. So I'm starting with basically DevOps is a continuous deployment process. It is a combination of deployment and operations, which helps to integrate between software development process and deployment process. It helps to continuous delivery and integration and collaboration with software developer and business. DevOps provides for some features like product delivery, quality testing, faster development and deployment cycles, and deployment in release and order in multiple environments. So basically DevOps is an automated process which helps to deploy your code in multiple environments at a time and in automated way. So in this to create an automated process we need pipelines to uh, set up a process. Pipelines is basically is a process which is automate the process in manual way or automated way. So pipeline basically is a steps of processes which we can configure for the deployments. Azure Pipelines is a cloud-based service that can use for automations. And the second one is the artifacts. Artifacts is a basically the file which contains actual code, your deployment code. It helps to uh, it helps in the pipeline which is used to continuous integration and deployment. So what is mean by CI and CD? CI means the continuous integration and CD means continuous delivery. So in this continuous integration, we are automatically build your code. Basically means whatever repository we are using like GitHub or Azure deployment. So once the code is getting pushed into your repository, it will get automatically integrated and in CI process. It's in early phase before deploying this code into the environment. CI process automatically build that code, and another one is the CD process, which is automatic continuously delivery. Whatever the code we have integrated and builded, we can automatically deploy it in a multiple environment like dev and QA. In CD process, on each commit, we can automate the process to deployment code, or we can configure it in a fixed interval or on a particular time. So basically, CI and CD has integrated with each other and working in side by side to deploy. They are both process we can trigger it manually also as per the user's requirement. So here is a small comparison between CI and CD process. CI increase the code coverage, and in this case of CD, automatically deploy in production code in production. CI builds faster and splitting test and build runs. CI basically checks the if there are any errors in a code in before deploying it into the environments. And CD process ensures that deployment targets the latest code and which is integrated by CI, and it CD makes sure it will get deployed into the right environment. CI automatically ensures that you don't ship a broken code, and CD use tested code in the CI process. CI runs continuously in automatic way. Once the code is get deployed in repository, CI process automatically works and check that if any kind of errors here in a code, it will automatically inform by showing a error message or warning message on your screen. So let's see how can we implement or configure the automated process using DevOps. So as you can see that this is the DevOps Azure DevOps screen. So we need to first create a new project here. From here you can create a new project. I have already created this project. Inside that, first we need to create a one pipeline to make the automated process. For that, this is the project's name. We have to create a new pipeline here. Clicking on a new build pipeline. So for making a pipeline, you need to first create and you need to connect with the repository. What kind of code repository like Azure, GitHub. There are lots of options here. So in this case, I am connected with this GitHub. So I am connecting this pipeline with GitHub repository. So we need to click on the use the classic editor here. I'm clicking on that. In this, I am selecting GitHub. We need to make sure that we have to connect GitHub first. For that, you can get a trial version also for GitHub. So I'm configured here my GitHub repository location and branch name. It will get automatic. You can change it branch name from here and clicking on continue. In this list, you can select what kind of project you want to connect with, like .NET Desktop application, Android, ASP.NET application. I'm in this scenario, I'm creating an empty job. So it will show you like this. This is the empty job I have created. Mm, in this, you have to add the steps here. What kind of operations we need to perform in this pipeline. So it will show the all information about repository, and this is agent job. For adding the steps, we have to click on a plus button and you can search here. We need to first add the solution file here, which is Visual Studio build. You can add it here. The task will get added here. In this, we can mention the solution we want to build it from the repository location. So if you click it here, it will show the all the repositories available on this, all the solutions available in this repository. You can select it here, what kind of solution you want to build, or otherwise it will build all the repositories from that, all the solutions from that repository. So you can mention here the what are the Visual Studio version you want to select. And second step we need to add is the, in this scenario I'm adding the exporting the solution from CRM. So for that I need to add this step here, which this is the Power DevOps tools which helps to manage the all the things related to dynamic CRM, like exporting solution, adding solution, deployment in the solution in the different environments. So for that we need to get added this solution in to the Azure DevOps first. From marketplace we can add it here in this Azure DevOps. So I'm installing it, just clicking on this. So it will ask you for this organization name to and asking permission for install it. After installation, click on this proceed to organization. So it will come back to this Azure DevOps environment. In this, I'm going back to this again on pipelines. adding the Visual Studio solution. And as we have added Power Apps application here, like this is showing that this is installed it here, and all related functions you will get the list of here functions available here, like export solution, import solution, remove solution components. So to use that Power DevOps Power Tool installer, we need to add the first configuration step here. So I am adding this Power DevOps Tool installer here. So it will get added here. After that, I'm exporting the solution from Dynamics CRM. So I'm adding this export solution task here. So in this, we can configure all the DevOps tool information here, like a Nugget package and all control options and output variable options here. So for exporting the solution, we need to configure the connection string first here of Dynamics 365 and the solution name which you want to export from Dynamics CRM. So I'm adding a connection string here and the solution name which I have already created on this CRM environment. You can configure it here what targeted version and export as a managed or unmanaged solution. So you can mention here configuration here, and this is the output path where we want to export this solution. So in this case, I have selected this solution name which is already created in repository. You will get this exported solution here. So I am selecting this path, and after that exporting solution, we have to save this all this exported solution, means publish it this solution. For that we need to add one more task here, publish build artifacts. So I am just adding this step here. It will also ask the publish path here. I'm adding the same path, and this is the artifact name which will show after publishing the solution, which is named here as a drop. So after configuration this Azure pipeline, save click on save and click on the check and save and queue. So it will save this pipeline and start execution. Click on save and run. So after that one by one what are the steps we have configured here, it will execute it here and show the all logs here. So as we can see that the pipeline execution process is completed and the job is finished. To check that if the exported solution is stored in repository, just we need to click on this artifact here and drop, which is a folder created. So clicking on this, we can see that the solution is exported here and stored in this location, repository location in GitHub. So likewise, we can automate this process for exporting solution from Dynamics CRM, and we can use this solution for deployment in another environment. Now solution is exported. To deploy this into this CRM environment, we need to create here the release pipeline. So I'm clicking on this release, selecting a new release pipeline. So I'm selecting empty job here. This is asking for stage name, which is selected here. So in this, first we need to select artifacts from where we are deploying the exported solution. So I am configuring here our project to get an exported solution. So I am selecting the source of the code repository. He is asking for the version of this solution. As of now, I am selecting the latest version. We want to deploy it. So latest one, and clicking on this add. The artifacts, the code repository, it just get added here. So now we need to add the tasks here. Clicking on the task, need to add the stage here. So selecting the Power Apps. Selecting this Power DevOps tool installer here. First, this is the mandatory step. We need to add it here to configure Power DevOps tools here. So this is the first step now, and to add it, the second one to solution deployment, import solution. So here we need to configure this connection string here, which is my dynamic CRM connection string. So now here we need to add the solution file repository. So as we know earlier on this drop location, we have download exported this test solution zip. So I'm selecting this path here. We can manage all the operations related to solutions like publish workflow, overwrite unmanaged customizations, holding solutions. There are timeout option here. We can maintain the versioning of the solution here. So now the pipeline steps are configured now. Clicking on this save. This pipeline is now saved. Clicking on, we need to, this is the manual deployment process right now. So we need to select on this create release here. He is asking for release for stage 1. He is taking automatic version of the deployment of solutions, and now selecting the create options here. So it's showing that release 1 is now created. This release step is created. So clicking on this release, we need to deploy this solution here. So selecting on this stage, clicking on this deploy. So deployment is in queue now. So whatever the exported solution is now getting deployed in this configured organization. So as we can see that this solution is now deployed into the selected org. So likewise, we can process the solution deployment here from the DevOps. So now automate the process of CI/CD means once the code is get deployed, we need to automate this deployment. For that, we need to do some changes in builds. So I am clicking on this build, go in edit option. We need to enable it first the CI process, which is code integration process. Clicking on this triggers, we need to enable continuous integration. So on ticking on this, it will ask for the branch which you want to include in this. So in my case is the master branch. So I am configuration this. If you want so add up another branch, you can add it from here. So clicking on this save. So CI process is now enabled. So now I'm again going on to the release pipeline. This is my current release pipeline. Clicking on this edit. So here on this symbol, we need to configure the continuous deployment process here. Clicking on this, I am enabling this continuous deployment trigger. So here also you need to create configure this branch from which we need to changes need to be deployed from this branch. So in this case also the master branch I have created. So whatever the changes I have made in this branch, it will get automatically saved and automated deployment will get trigger after this change. So now this is configured. Can verify that this is now configured. Clicking on this save. So for that we need to do some changes in Visual Studio, which is regarding to the code. I am changing in a Visual Studio code now. In this Visual Studio, I have connected with this same repository uh, using the GitHub. So I am making some changes in my code right here. And pushing this code into the Git. I am committing all these changes into the repository. So now code is committed. Now to verify that the whatever changes is made in Visual Studio, click on these repos, CS file. The changes has been made here, reflected in this DevOps. Now clicking on this pipeline, we can see that new triggered, the build is triggered now for the whatever changes is made in master branch, the code. So I'm opening this. So it will start execution, the artifacts file. So he is automatically scheduling the file which need to be deployed in targeted environment. So clicking on release plan. After completion of the build process, release will get executed. So as we can see that uh, build is completed now. So on click on a release file, new release is now getting triggered here. So I'm opening this. So now it's automatically deploying this solution file into the targeted environment, importing the solution into the targeted environment. So now it's successfully imported into the CRM organization. So likewise, we can automatically automate the process of deployment of solutions into this CRM organization. So likewise, CI/CD is used to automate the deployment, and which is helpful for developers also to automate the process, and it's very user friendly UI provided by DevOps to configure these things in pipelines and artifacts up to automated deployments. I hope this video is very helpful for you. Thanks for watching.